Hi everyone. Okay, so in this video we are going to assemble the Maggie flower. It's going to be a little bit long because I'm going to show you how you can shade it. You do not have to shade this flower. You can cut it in different colors and just assemble it without shading. It's just, I always kind of like to take my flowers up a notch, and I kind of want to show you how to do that with this flower. I think just colorizing it brings it to a whole nother level. Okay. So in the file, you're going to get 6 of the large petals. This is your large one. And you're going to get 6 of the medium petal. And you're going to get 6 of the smaller petals. Now, if you did not want to make this large of a flower, you can skip this size and just go to this size. And don't use the smaller one. I mean, don't use the larger one. Like, use the smaller ones for your centers. But when we get into that, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So, and then our centers, we have 1 large one and 4 of the medium-sized ones. And in this file, you will get the 3 leaves. And then you'll get 2 vines. All right, so let's get started. Now, I'm going to do just it's not going to be really in-depth as far as like coloring this. I'm just going to kind of like splash some color on it and kind of run with it. So I think anybody could really do this. You can do this with pan pastels. You can do this with ink. You can do this with color pencils if you really wanted to take the time, to do that. The possibilities are endless when it comes to adding color to your flowers. But in this video, I will be using pan pastels. The pan pastel color codes will be in the PDF material list. And it should be at the bottom of the materials. And also obviously you found the link to this video, or you wouldn't be, but it's also with the links and stuff too. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out my petals, and I just find that it's so much easier to do them all at once instead of doing them petal by petal. And I tend to do this when I mass produce my flowers. So I'm going to lay them all out. Just kind of put them where I can. Even the smaller ones. Now, I did put some freezer paper down because I do have a white surface, and using pan pastels, it will stain the surface. So just be cautious when you're using the pan pastels, and make sure that if you get them on the floor to immediately pick them up. I would say that pan pastels will probably stain your carpet. So just caution when you're using them. Okay, so I'm going to use, this is like a dabber that you can get at the craft store, and they have like these little Velcro little pads on them. So that's all I'm going to be using to add the color to them. And also saves your fingers from getting dirty, even though I'm going to use my thumbs to kind of blend, and I'll show you that in just a second. So I have these colors right here, as you can see in this one. Oh, in the picture. So I'm going to take my darker, no, not take my darker one, sorry. Actually, let's just do this one. Okay, so I'm just going to use these. This is going to be for the middle. So this is the pink. Let me see what this is called. This is permanent red tint. And I'm just going to put my dabber like this. And I'm going to kind of like just go off to the side and shake some of it off. And I'm going to work from the bottom and push it up into the petal. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Whoops. I'm going to start, and I'm just going to rub it like that. Oops. And if you get some up in there, you just kind of rub it in, and it'll be fine. Now, this is practice. So just kind of go with however you think it's going to look, or just experiment, guys. Not every time that you do this, it's going to come out perfect. Or they'll all kind of be their own little character, when you build the flowers like this. So I'm just going up. Oops. And I'm kind of just stopping, as you can see, like here. I'm kind of stopping about right here with my color. because I don't want the whole petal. I just want it to be, and you'll see once we build the flower how pretty it looks. Oops, we got some big ones right here. And I'm just pushing the color up. And as you make them, you'll come up with your own kind of technique on how to add color to these. There's so many ways to add color to these, so don't hesitate to experiment. Oops. Okay. So, these smaller ones are kind of harder to get. I'm almost having to rub it back and forth for it to get on there. There we go. Okay. And I'm only going to do one side because you can do both sides, but it's kind of not necessary for you to do that, because the leaves and stuff are going to cover up most of the back. All right, so we have our petals colorized with the pink. And now I'm going to take this color, and I'm going to be very, very light. I'm not going to add too much of this color. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up my petal, and I'm going to add and just kind of dab to the side. And I'm just going to kind of like tap. And it kind of gives it like just an edge to it. And you can kind of experiment, like you can come over here. I mean, you don't want to do the whole entire edge. It's just kind of giving it a little bit of color. Like I'll go over here and add some. This is where you're going to play with them, okay? Because once you start building it, you'll see that it'll actually really make a really pretty, like, shaded flower. And I'm going to come over here, just knock off some of that. And I'm just pouncing it. And I'm just taking my thumb and I'm just rubbing it out. I'll probably go down deep into this one. See how I did that? I'm just taking my thumb and I'm just rubbing it out. So just kind of experiment with it. See, like this one, I put it up in the corner. So when you start building them, they'll have like a variation of colors in the petals. You have to go back and dab. Just okay. That one's already got color. And I'm just kind of luck of the draw of where it's going to go on there. I'm just kind of not even, you don't want to overanalyze where the color is going to go for these, because it's going to turn out fabulous. Like if you want to do it all one way, then that's fine. Oops, and this one. Okay, so we have our colors on there. Now we're going to take a skewer, like a wooden skewer like this, and we're just going to take it on the side that's, you know, that we've added the color to. We're just going to take it and run it up like this. We want them to curl up a bit, okay? Now you can stick two of them together and do it. You just need them to curl up. Almost like curling ribbon with scissors. Put these three together. So after we get, if you have more than one stuck together, like you're going to have to do it a couple of times. Let's see, I'll take these three. Okay, so let's assemble our flower. We're going to add a little bit of glue at the bottom here. And we're going to have it go about like that. And I'm going to curl these up just a little bit more than what they're actually doing right now. Okay. Take another one. And you're just going to build around. just like that. And we'll take our other petal. Be sure not to glue it to the paper. Set this down. And then we're going to pop that right in the middle. And try not to burn your hands. Okay, so our flower looks like this now. Now what you can do is kind of hold it in the middle and just curl it up. Now at this rate, our flower is going to measure about, let's see if I have my measuring tape here. Here we go. Measures almost 7 inches, maybe about 7.5 inches when you use the big petals. It just depends on the curl and how you curl them up. Okay. Now, if you didn't want this large of a flower, hold on, let me get back in the frame here. You didn't want the large flower like this, you could just use the medium petals and start going around with the smaller ones. But I suggest that you would only use the smaller stamens for that. Alright, so now it's time to add our medium petals. And we're just wanting to go right in between, like this with our flower. Okay. We don't really like get too hung up on what the center looks like because it's going to get covered by our stamen anyway. So here's what our center looks like. There's glue whips everywhere. Okay. And now for the smaller ones, I'm going to go about right here. But I'm going to overlap them. See where these two crisscross? So if they overlap just a tad bit, that's okay. Like I said, you're not going to see any of this work in the center once you put your stamen down in there. Glue webs everywhere. So this is what our flower looks like so far. Okay. And I'm just going to get all the glue off my fingers. Now, if you wanted to, you could really cut this up like this. At this point, if you wanted to stick a hole down in there, or, you know, like right here with a skewer, or just with a sharp object or something, I have like these piercers that you can pierce down in the middle to make a hole, or you can just, you know, cut out a little circle, whatever, put a hole in it, put your stem in it, and you can stem it. Alright, so our center, just bear with me because I know it looks funky right now, but once we get it all together, it's going to look really nice. Okay, so our center, what I'm going to do with this, is because I need a little bit of depth going on in the middle, I need to bring it to life a little bit. So I have like this weird, what color is this? It's permanent red extra dark, and you're going to be really light when we do this. But you're going to take your sponge, dab off some of this extra. And I'm just going to go in the middle and just literally just do something like that. Okay, let me get this off of here because I don't want to color on my map. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of, that one got a little bit up in there, that's okay. You could almost do this with a smaller one, but okay. So as you see, I'm just adding just a touch of color in the middle. This one I want a little bit darker just because it's on the outside. I'm just going to take my thumb. I'm going to push it in like this. And now I'm just going to kind of see where it's going to fall at, to make sure that my color and everything looks okay, and that my center looks okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to curl this one up with my skewer, and be really, really careful. You're doing this really lightly so you don't tear any of the little spikes on the side here. And then I'm going to kind of bring it together. I'm going to take my thumb, and I just kind of want to like smush it a little bit. You don't have to, you know, close it all the way. I mean, at this point, you can put like a rhinestone in the middle of it, or just leave it like this. I'll show you what a rhinestone would look like in the middle of it. This is kind of dark, but it's the only one that I could find really quick. So you could put a rhinestone in the middle of it like this. It's actually really pretty. Okay, let's see if I can find a green one. I don't really like the brown, but here's a green one. That's kind of too big. Here we go. So I'm going to put a green one in that. Okay. And just drop it down in there. Like that. Okay. And then you're just going to take it and you're going to build it up. Go to your next one. And just kind of take it and push your thumb and kind of pull them up like this. And you're going to drop that in the center. And try to alternate the little things as much as you can, just so it has a better... You don't even really need to put the rhinestone in it, because I think once we start building it up, you're not even going to really see it. But I just did it, just in case if it opens up, it'll have something down in there. And so as you can see, I'm just kind of taking my fingers and I'm just kind of just gently pushing on those center ones. Our fourth medium one. Okay, and this one I'm not really going to push down or anything. I'm just kind of going around and just kind of fluffing it up on the side. So this is what the center looks like so far with all four of them together. You can see that. Okay, super, super cute. Now we're going to take this large one. I'm going to flip it over like this and just kind of see where everything falls down in there. Okay. And voila. We're going to take our flower, or take our center, put it down in the middle of our flower. If you wanted to, you could open these up a little bit so you could see the rhinestone. And just make sure you got it even, so that's what the center looks like. Okay, now it'll really start coming together. And if you wanted to, you could take your finger. I have this pink stuff on my hand, so I kind of don't want to. Just go in the middle and just kind of go like this, and they'll start cupping up a little bit. They did kind of fall out there. Oops. Yeah, so that looks much better. Everything's kind of up more. All right, so we're going to take our leaves. And you can colorize your leaves. I'm just a stickler for it. I am using, let's see, this onyx green shade. And like I said, I'll have all the numbers in the PDF for you. And I'm also going to come back and highlight with this bright yellow green. So let's get this set aside. Let's set our flower aside for a moment. And let's pop it on in there. Okay, remember I want to tap off some of my green. I'm just going to go on one side of it. Okay. Remember, this doesn't have to be, you know, the dark color doesn't have to be too, like, blended in, because you're going to blend it in with the lighter color. So, as you can see, I just kind of went, and I know it's a hard line, but we're going to blend it. And that's what this lighter color is for. So, I'm going to take the green. Now, it depends on what colors you're going to use for, you know, your cardstock. You might not necessarily want to use that dark of a green if you're using a lighter cardstock. So you're just going to have to play with your colors and see what works. Typically you want a dark color on one side and a light color on the other opposite side. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm just going to kind of run it up and down to where like I'm blending it into that center. Okay. This one doesn't seem like it's getting much. It could just be the light. Okay, so this is what, oops, that's how my leaves look. Now, if you want to take it a step further, you can take that, that darker red that we were using and kind of just type real lightly on the edge there. Oops, I don't know how in the video showing you this. And just take your thumb and just kind of rub the edge. And that just gives it a little bit of more, or, you know, a little definition to it. Guess a more dimensional look is what I was going for there. Okay, so we're going to set them aside. And with this, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of run them like in between there. As you can see. Is it coming up? Yeah. Remember, don't be scared because it's not like you can't blend this out. Okay. Take this off. Go back to my light green. And I'm going to go back over it. And I'm just kind of pouncing it to where I'm blending that hard line. Okay. That I left behind for that darker color. Oops. And now it looks real nice and blended. I'm hoping it's picking up on that. Okay. And I'm going to go back, of course, with a little bit of this darker color. Like I said, you do not have to do this step. It's just, I go a little bit more in detail of my flowers just to, you know, a more realistic look. But of course, you do not have to do this. I'm actually going to tip it. Then I'm going to take my thumb and I'm just going to rub it out because I don't have another color that I'm blending. But I don't want a really hard line there. And that's what they look like. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to take my skewer and I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with the petals. I'm just going to curl them up a little bit. Put some glue. And I'm just going to see right where I kind of want this to rest. So I think one right there would look really pretty. Now remember, please experiment. You do not have to place them where I place them, okay? It's just whatever tickles your fancy, okay? Oh, so glad I have this paper down. And I'm going to probably put one about right there. And I'm going to come back and probably put one right there. So that's our flowers so far. And if you wanted to, you could probably like take the skewer and just kind of cup them up a little bit. And it, like I said, it gives it a little bit more dimension to it. And all I'm doing is I'm taking my skewer and I'm just kind of pinching them up. I don't want a hard pinch. I just kind of want it to curl them up. So I'm just slightly curling them around there. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of see where I kind of want this vine to kind of vine out at. And I think I kind of want this one to come down here. And then, let's see. And this is where you just play around. I think that looks good. So I'm going to take it, some glue. I'm just going to put it right there. And I'm just going to kind of take my skewer and just kind of press it down so I'm not getting anything on it. And some more glue. And voila. I hopefully did not glue that to the paper. So, and this is our flower. Let's see if I can show you a little bit. There we go. And this is our Maggie flower. I think it's really pretty. It almost reminds me of magnolia, but in a sense, not really. I don't know. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Like I said, the possibilities are endless. You do not have to shade it. You could have just, you know, gathered the petals. You could two-tone it. Maybe take like these colors right here. Like you could have went light and then dark in the middle, or darker petals and then lighter petals as progression into the center. The possibilities are endless. I can't wait to make more of these to show you the variations that you can do with these. And I think they would look so pretty on a stem, especially in an arrangement and having a bunch of them with other flowers. Killer awesome looking. Okay, my mind is just going crazy right now.